of touch, out of reach, yeah. You could try to get closer to me. I'm in love, I'm in deep, yeah. Hypnotized, I'm shaking to my knees. I gotta know tonight if you're alone tonight. Can't stop this feeling, can't stop this vibe. Oh, I get hysterical, hysteria. Oh, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Do you believe it? Such a magical mysteria. When you get that feeling, stop believing, 'cause it's a miracle. Oh, say it will obey. Hysteria when you're near. Out of me, into you, yeah. You can hide, it's just a one-way street. Oh, I believe I'm in you, yeah. Open wide, that's right. Dream me off my feet. Oh, believe in me. I gotta know tonight if you're alone tonight. Can't stop this feeling, can't stop this vibe. Oh, I get hysterical, hysteria. Oh, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Do you believe it? Such a magical
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Welcome to How Did the Beagle Steal Thanksgiving? And we got Mud riding my lap. He's riding shotgun tonight. Welcome, Billy Philly. Welcome, GT. Welcome, Sigsar. Welcome, Kathy Broughton. Let's see. Welcome, Hippie Shake. And anyone else is hanging out and lurking. I appreciate all of you hanging out tonight. We're going to go and dig into every year as I'm doing my research and I find photo manipulated images. I save them in a special file, and then I at the end of the year I will share those, and so that's what I'll do tonight. And so I've got around 450, I think, images of glass plate negatives and photo manipulated images. These are the real deal. Everything you're going to see will be 100% legit photo manipulated images, old world style. So this is going to be I'm going to run fast. So I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving, are all fooled up, and just hang back and chill. And I'm just going to go through these images as fast as I can, and just share with you what I got, and and I hope that you enjoy, and we will go ahead and get right into it. So happy Thanksgiving, and enjoy. Let's see here. Let me see. Let me remove this. And I'm going to make this like that. And we should be good to go. Our first image is a composite from a famous photographer that did composite images. And what he would do is he would take different images and then different glass plates, and then he would put images on top of images and create composite images. So you'll like the little girl here and the mom would be one, and then the little girl and the mom here would be one, and then this little girl might be another one, and then these two may be another one, and then this one might be a different one, and this one a different one. And then he's also incorporated painting into his image. He used all sorts of techniques, but he was a real famous photo manipulator. And this is the fairy pictures, where there was two girls that did photo manipulation pictures and of where they said that they found fairies in their garden, and they it wasn't until the end of their lives that they came off the story and said that they were fakes. But they did it as just to kind of show what they could do, and a lot of people believed these images. And this is a good quality, but you can imagine if this was printed in a newspaper back then, how it would be very difficult to notice the reality, that it was fake. I mean, we can clearly see it's fake, but to people looking at a newspaper back then, it was a lot different. We've got a classic vanilla sky here, and you can see where they've trimmed off the edges on there. Run around there and check a look at that. You can see a crack in the glass right there, it looks like. And you see they just cut right above the building there. So that's a classic vanilla sky. That's probably a break, maybe an etched piece. Here's another one of those composite images. This is called A Holiday in the Wood by 1860 by Henry Peach Robinson. That's the artist that did these photo manipulations. But he did many of these, and they were pretty cool. but when they were reprinted in magazines and or in magazines and newspapers and stuff like that, the quality, you would not be able to tell that these were fakes. I mean, he would take a real picture, but like in this picture there could be many different versions. I mean, you could see this is the same image we were looking at before, but the whole background has been changed. So he was he did lots of versions, and he was very clever. Very cool stuff. This one's a really cool one. It's Adrian Cordeliga. I can't even pronounce that. Composite image of the execution of Maximilian in 1867. And this is a composite of many images. The background is one image, and then you have the guys over here on the right, left and right are from another image, and then I believe these were three separate images. And then they printed this in magazines, and when you looked at it in lower resolution, it looked a lot realer. This is the background image that was used, and this is the image that was used for the soldiers. And they separated the soldiers, you can see there, but it came from a much clearer image. And this is both the images, the background and the foreground. Let's see, this one. Let's see, we got the flags are kind of disappearing there. Let me turn down my little fan here and get a little chilly there. Okay. I spent all day putting up my wood stove chimney, getting it just right, and we got a cold snap coming in tomorrow I wasn't aware of, and so I kind of got behind. I usually put that up a couple weeks from now, so kind of got caught off guard. So I went ahead and did that today to make sure I got it ready for tomorrow, because if it gets too cold, I want a warm booty. This is got a they painted out this chimney here in the background. I think that's about all on that one. Let's see. Sometimes it can be difficult to tell. This one's got painted people down here. It's really hard to tell, but those people have been painted in. See if we got information there. Broadway, Barclay Street to Park Place, the Hub Clothing, blah blah blah. Does not give any information, but you can tell that the people are very not very real looking. But what they would do is they would take a picture of something, and then they would paint in people. This was not uncommon. Okay, this is a wild one. I got some vanilla skyage going here. You can see where they took out around the antennas and the poles here, and right here they painted right there, and painted right up in here and up on top of the building there. So there's going to be just something somewhere everywhere on these images. This one is got the vanilla sky going, and they didn't do a very good job of taking the tree out. But if you're looking on a postcard, on a low resolution postcard, it really doesn't stand out too much. You don't really think about it too much. This one, it looks like they've taken paint and painted out the entire building here in white. right there. And what I would imagine, if I had to guess, is that they were planning on just using the building in some sort of image. They were going to cut out the rest of it, would be my guess. Over here, we got some painted stuff there. Alrighty. There's some more of the fairy pictures. And these little girls, they had a lot of fun with this, I bet. Making their fake fairies. People believed this back in the day. They thought that was real. This is another fairy image. And these were very famous at one time. They were there's one little fairy back here. But they, at the time, people really fell for it. You got some painting on the side of this building right here. Sometimes it's a little bit, sometimes it's a lot. Okay, and got some painting done up here around the chimney. Back here. Okay, they've painted out the sail on the sailboat for some odd reason. They've painted out that flag. Okay, we got they've vanilla skied the background back here. All right, and got another vanilla sky. Vanilla sky is when they either paint out the background or they etch out the background, which means they scrape the collodion silver off the glass plate negative. They did it, different ways, depending on, what look they wanted to go for. But it was not a chemical process, as some will claim. Here's another fairy picture. I mean, we look at them today and we're like, oh, these aren't very good. But, if this was printed in very low resolution in a magazine or a newspaper, which they were very, very low resolution back then, people, would believe it. They've taken out the background on this building. Oh, butts aren't toys. You can see they've kind of painted the bottom here. That's a print. Let's see. They've, for some reason, taken out this branch right here. Partially. It's like some of this stuff is like, what's the point? But it is what it is. This one you can see they're masking it out. This is basically them saying this is what we want in our picture. So they're I don't know why they didn't do this side over here, but they would just take paint and just paint up. And who knows, maybe it was not completed or something like that. Here's a little bit better resolution. Sometimes in the digital archives, they won't let you download high resolution. But what I'll do is, if it's a really good image, I'll take a screenshot of it in multiple shots so that I get the resolution. It's not perfect, but it's, a way to do it. This image is, I don't remember how many, but it's like, this is the same guy, the H.P. Robinson, the guy that does the composite pictures. this, I can't remember how many pictures this was, but it was like 12 or something different pictures, but you would never know it. This was a very famous picture he did. Just it every element in here is almost different. So that's one of the elements right there. This is or this is the, I think this is the not the same image. As you can tell, her eyes are different. It's the same. They used this photo shoot for this image. Here's like a this is an example of what it would more look like in a newspaper or a magazine to people. Because like right here, what they did was they took it and they took this image and then they had a person basically do a cartoon drawing, like a line drawing kind of thing. You can see all the lines, and they would have used this for the newspaper, and you wouldn't know that that was a bunch of composite images taken from, it's just amazing what they did. It's another version, I think. Here's some information about it. This is called Fading Away, 1858. So some information about it. You can read that if you want. We got Vanilla Sky. They've taken out the background again. This is a composite image where they would have taken a picture and superimposed different pictures to make this ghost effect. All right. They've got some sort of like paint or something in the background here that they've done. I think maybe to make the picture look older. I really don't know. It's just very strange how they manipulated this image. Just, I don't know. There's not much rhyme or reason. Like, I can understand maybe a little bit like the tree, maybe. I don't even know. It's very strange. That's about all I can say about that one. Okay, we got Vanilla Sky background. You can see they didn't do the Vanilla Sky behind this. They didn't do in between there. Okay. And this is a composite image of two images. The foreground and the background are different images. So they were composited together to create one image. And you would never know that. If I hadn't have told you that, you would have never known that. And you can't even, I mean, like, you really hardly can't even tell if you zoom in. I mean, it's very well done. Okay, what do we got? Okay, this one got some people here. You got a horse here they've gotten rid of somehow. Got somebody here that they've manipulated out of the image. Okay. That one's kind of hard to see. This one's Vanilla Skied. Is Moo Cow. Is Bessie the Moo Cow. That might be Bessie the Bull. Or Bobby the Bull. Oh, have mercy. Where am I going? So you can see how they Vanilla Skied her hair right there. Very easy to tell. And the point of this exercise is to not say, oh, this is, how they hid the old world, but it could be how they hid the old world. It's not to say, oh, they were doing Vanilla Skies to get rid of zeppelins and blimps and airships. Well, you know, they might have done that, but I haven't found like really definitive evidence that they did that. Um, until I start finding folders with complete sets of two, one with the zeppelin and one without. Um, it. Is it possible? Yes, but is that what they did? I don't know. My point, okay, is that they could do this, and that's the point that I'm trying to make. This one, I am not sure what they did something there. Oh, they they did they manipulated something out here. It's like they've painted the water here or something. It's very strange. You can see this is the original image here, and I don't know. Like this image, it's very possible that sometimes the colloidian doesn't get to it doesn't work very well on one side or something, and you have a problem. Like maybe, just maybe, the guy's walking with the glass plate negative to the camera and he trips and it messes up a corner or something. And then they're like, okay, we'll fix that, later. That might be what they've done here. There was a problem that made the picture look ugly. So they made it look like, to me, it looks like they're trying to look like water. I don't know. But they've painted out right here. Painted out a line right there. They've done away with the whole bottom here somehow, for some reason. I don't know. Some of these things are like, huh? See right there, is it what I'm talking about, where the collodion silver got messed up? That right there is a mistake in the collodion silver. That's what that is. And it was very, very common to see it on the edges. This one, they have Vanilla Skied the edges to square it off to make a square picture. But you can see clearly on the outer edges that the picture was much bigger. That's a pretty cool Fred, though. Alrighty. This is a composite image. Say what you will about it. I don't really quite comprehend what the hell I'm looking at, but if you got some LSD, now's a good time to drop it. Nobody's gonna judge you here. You can get your psychedelic on if you want, but this is a composite image. I don't know how many images it's of. Okie dokie. What else we got? Let's see. They've done some hanky panky up here. Almost looks like airbrushing. I don't know if they had the ability to airbrush, but it kind of almost looks like airbrush. Same thing here, but they used, looks like paint. Alrighty. All right. They've done some manipulation right here. Hard to say what the hell they're doing there. Doesn't make much sense sometimes. It is what it is. This one's got some sort of weird paint strokes in the background. I don't even know if you guys can see that. It's a very, very faint thing. I don't know why they would do that. It's very strange. No idea. they've done the same thing here. You can maybe see it a little bit better. They've it's almost like they're vanilla skying it. They're vanilla skying around the building with that paint. Got an upside down cross in case you need that. Yeah, they've painted the entire background up there. Not over here though. A little electric car for you. This one they've painted the background around the lady's head. You can clearly see a wild looking painting. The eyes. It's like they've done some painting in the eyes too. That was one thing that was very popular about photo manipulation was that they've added paint all over this lady's face. Back then, you know, we didn't have the beauty care stuff that we have today, and so people wanted to get their picture taken, but they didn't in real life. They weren't as beautiful as they wanted to be, and they could go in and get their photo manipulated, and they would make them look a lot better. It was just a service they provided. Trying to figure out what's going on in this one. Looks like it's vanilla skied. Not sure. Not sure what's going on in this one. I think they vanilla skied it though. Oh, okay, yeah. That's what it is. This would be the image that you would see in like the newspaper kind of thing, like a lower res. And this would be the glass plate where they did the manipulation. And you can see how they vanilla skied the background. That's a pretty cool image. One thing that's you guys will notice about the show tonight is that you will see images tonight that aren't on my normal show, a lot of them, because on my normal show I'm showing let's see. Here's another shot from the same place at a little bit different angle, and they've also manipulated this photo. But the photo manipulated pictures, if they're not the architecture pictures, they go straight into my photo manipulation picture and they don't get shown on the show. So you're going to see pictures here tonight that you might have seen before. You're also going to see pictures that you haven't seen before. So, you know, there'll be a little bit of something for everybody. We've got they've painted that line out there, that electrical line right there is what they did in this image. They had a little bit of paint right there for some reason, and here and here, maybe to give it some sort of depth. I don't know. Kind of odd. They did the same thing to this image, the electrical line. Okay, these are high resolution TIFFs. When they take a little bit of time to load, they're high resolution TIFFs, and they're very high resolution. When I download, I go searching for the highest quality images that I can find. Okay. And when I find an image that, let's say I come across an image and I'm like, Oh my God, that's a great image. That is a really good image. I don't just grab the image and move on. If I really think an image is really good, okay, it's something that's got a lot of value to what we're doing. They've added a lot of paint to this piping here for some reason. Somebody went crazy on the piping with the paint. I don't know. I don't know. So what I would do, got a ladder lane for Douglas. Shout out UAP. What I'll do is I will go searching for a higher resolution of that image. If it's a really good image. If let's say I have a low resolution of an image that I think is just stupendous, I will spend the time to go find that image in a higher res. Now, sometimes I'm successful and sometimes I'm not, but I try to find the highest resolution I can, because in the higher res, you will find a lot more. This is an airplane that they have painted out the background here. For whatever reason. I don't know. Very strange. This is a famous manipulated image. This guy took multiple images trying to show a horse galloping, and the idea was to something about to show how the horse's feet touched the ground as it galloped. And people said it was fake because he went in and touched up some of the images, um, and people claimed it was fake because of that. But he really didn't. It was just he manipulated them to clean them up a little bit, and you can't really see it, but people just claimed it was fake because of that. But that's a pretty famous picture. You might want to, if you're interested in that sort of stuff, this would be something to look into. The horse in motion. So something to look into if you want to know more. All right, we got a Vanilla Sky painting going out here. They've painted out that background up there for some reason. Who knows why? They've painted out the background on this one. Yes, sir. You can see it clearly right there. This was probably, in the process of being done. And I don't know why they never finished some of these. Another painting of the background for Vanilla Sky. I don't know why they didn't, do better on some of them, or if they were just not finished. I really don't know. Could be 1,000 different reasons. I don't know. Wasn't the horse photo on a round turntable? You might be right about that, Kathy. I do think I remember that as well, but I'm not positive. There is history about that image. So if you're looking for historical information about photo manipulation, that would be a good one to look into, just because there is a history that a historical narrative that goes with it. Got the Brooklyn Bridge, and they've Vanilla Skyed out the background here. As you can tell, you see how dark it is behind it down below, and then how bright it is up top. Clearly not a you can see around the flagpoles too. Clearly not a chemical process. Got some sort of strange manipulation going on here. I don't have any idea what that is. It's an anomaly. there's some sort of like guy wire right here, it looks like. And they have done some manipulation on that. For whatever reason. There it splits off. Then it goes out into nothing. I don't know. That's very weird. And at first I thought it was a crack, but in the glass, but then you look at this and that's not a crack. I don't know what it's very strange, but they've manipulated it out for some reason. Very odd. They've done something there. Looks like maybe somebody put a piece of tape over this or something at one point. Messed it up. Got a vanilla sky background. This is a TIFF. It'll take a second to pop in. And you can see it's vanilla skied there where they've etched around it. And you can clearly see when it's etched and when it's painted. This is an etched image. They would just take a little piece of metal scraper and they would scrape the image off the glass plate. Real simple. I mean, it took a steady hand, but other than that, you know, an idiot could do it. Got a man that's got his head chopped half and half. That's not a chemical process. And people might be wondering, why do I always say that this isn't a chemical process? And I'll tell you why. Because there are people out there that were at one time trying to claim that when we said vanilla sky, that what we were showing was a chemical process. And it's not a chemical process. What we're talking about when we say vanilla sky is when it's etched or painted or photo manipulated. There is a process that can change the background. Yes, that's a whole different process. That is absolutely not what the old world researchers are talking about. They were trying to make us look stupid, and they actually in return made themselves look stupid because they didn't know what the hell they were talking about. And why people do stuff like that, I don't know. It's very strange. They've squared off this image. Seems to be about all I'm seeing, though. Pretty cool. Ah. Whoa. Wow, that was weird. This one, okay, you see you've got clouds here, and these images would have been taken the same day. And you can see that they vanilla skied the image. Looks like this one was painted, I think. I would say painted. Let's see. This one's got vanilla sky going on back here. You can see there's stuff behind here that they have taken out of the image. This is just an absolutely incredible Mudflood picture. Very, very, very interesting photograph. Serious hanky-panky going on there, I think. This composite image has many, I don't even know, 36. This is Oscar Gustav Reglander. I'm not pronouncing that right. 2 Ways of Life. And this contains 36 separate negative images. that were used to create this image. 36 separate images. That's incredible. Boobas. And what's what? Who is who? You know, I don't know. Tartarian line. Just that's just really cool. This is one of the images that was used in that image, and you can see that right here. So that's where that was taken from. And this is also the same image. Got a some painting of this building over here. Very weird why they did that. Don't know why. I can't explain it, but it is what it is. Okay, let that lock in. Okay, and we got Vanilla Sky image. You can see they etched it out. And you can clearly see that it is a etching, not the painting. Got painted Vanilla Sky, the background here. All right. Same thing. Let it lock in. Boom. Okay. Takes a second with the TIFFs. They're high resolution, so the computer has to like, what the hell, man? You want me to show this big ass picture? I don't know, man. Okay, finally he'll do it. And it locks in. There it goes. And you can see they've painted out the background here. And you see the brush strokes. See there, the paint is cracking. These are old. And here you can see they have manipulated out somehow, some way, the a flagpole and a rope here, or guy line or something. And you can see they have manipulated that out of the image. They were very good at what they did. You can see the top of the flagpole with the mercury ball right there. But I come back this way and you can't tell that has a flagpole in it. And when they would have shown the picture in a whatever magazine, it would have looked something like this. And it would have been in lower res. So that flagpole would be just not there. You wouldn't see that. This is a composite image, Henry Peach Robinson, 1873. I don't know how many images were composited to make this one, but this is a composite image. This wasn't one scene it wasn't a picture of one thing. It was, several things that were put together. Like, imagine that these two girls are not in the same room. This is the artist in the foreground and the background. It's the same guy in a different outfit. It's a double self-portrait of Relander, 1873. That's the guy that's done the photo manipulation. Probably have a Vanilla Sky here. And it'll lock in a second. There we go. Yeah, we've got etching going across the back, it looks like. Yep. It's etched out the background. And the trees here are clearly, etched around. You see it real good there. Okay. And this one's got some crazy stuff here. they've done a lot of painting down here in the bottom, and you can see that they've added all these brush strokes to create these plants and the water and this post here. I mean, it's like it's well done. I mean, when I come back, okay, and then imagine that it is you know, lower res, I mean, you just wouldn't see it. Let's see. And this one's got there's a stand right here, and like that she's supposed to be resting her arm on that stand, but they didn't want the stand in the picture, so they painted it out right there. It's interesting. And they've etched it right there. And I've gotten a closer up so you can see better the painting. Like I said, sometimes I can't download the high res, so I have to take it in multiple shots. That's really pretty. The outfit and everything. Painting back here. All right. They've done all kinds of manipulation here. Just all kinds of manipulation. It's hard to even, like, where did the picture stop and the painting begin? I mean, it's, look at the detail on that dress. Very nice. Look at all the brush strokes right there. They've painted buildings in back here. Lots of brush strokes. They've painted a fence right here. Just all kinds of manipulation here. It's like, you know, I think sometimes they took these portraits and, you know, maybe they didn't turn out, like the lighting was bad or something went wrong, or, and so they would try to save the image. That's my guess. I'm just giving you the higher, they painted, that looks like a tree to me. Same thing here. They've got that stand in the back right there where she's leaning against it, because they had to stand there a long time. They didn't want the pose to get messed up. So then they would just manipulate out that background. Another pretty dress. This is kind of interesting. Done a lot of brush strokes in the background there. I kind of wonder if this is 3 separate pictures composited together. I'm not sure, but definitely did painting in the background. You can see the brush strokes clearly. Gotta love them hats. A lot of pretty smiles there. And you can see that stand on the left-hand side she's holding on to. That's so she can hold that pose without moving so that the camera can take a really good picture. It was just a photography trick back then. Look at that dress, man. This one they've Vanilla Sky painted out the background, and they've added paint to the foreground on the building. I possibly may have yes, okay, I've got higher resolutions. We'll take a look at those. Fortunately, sometimes I have to get higher resolutions. You got paint all over this thing. They didn't paint the flat earth asterisks for some reason. I was looking at a picture of got a paint right there. I was looking at a picture of the Kremlin the other day, and it's got flat earth asterisks on it. I thought that was funny. But you can see all the paint just all over the place. Absolutely saturated. This one's got some paint down here on the ground there. Got some in the door. Got some over here. I probably have a better image of this. Check out that porthole right there. Yeah, I do. You can see that porthole a little bit better. I know y'all like some portholes. There's another one right there. I like for y'all to see those when they're open because they're part of the wind catcher system. So it's pretty important. Looks like they vanilla skied the background too, to me. And you can see the paint in the doorway and over here. Done something there. So hard to tell why they did certain things. Really, no rhyme or reason. Some of it. There's some sort of paint right here. I don't know why this is darker than this. I'm not sure what they've done there. It's like they've done something to the background. Maybe I've got a higher res on this. Looks like something there, and there. They've painted that, and that for some reason. They've painted on these two signs here. It looks like there's something going on there and there and there. Let's see if I can higher res. Yes, I do. Okay, good. You can see a little bit better. Yeah, I really don't know why they put those marks there. It's very, very odd. Got some pavement light there in case you need some of that today. And they painted that sign over and that. Painted that sign over. That person almost looks painted right there, Ian. They painted over that sign. Painted over here. Painted over this sign. Something right there. I'm not sure what that is. They really didn't want nobody to read the signs for some reason. All right. This one you got some gray paint added here, all through here. On the bottom of the drill head right there, you got paint on her arm, maybe a little on her eye, up in her hair, over here on the drill. This gray background, that red right there. And this is higher res, so you can really see it real good. You can see that paint real good now. See that? Got it on that handle right there. Some of these things they spent quite a bit of time doing, you know, getting them looking better. And the idea isn't like, don't look at it from like a standpoint of why would you do this? This looks ugly. You got to understand this is done to take another picture, to take a picture of the picture. And then when they reprint it like in a newspaper, the resolution drops dramatically. And when that happens, this weird stuff goes away and it looks normal. That'd make a cool album cover right there for some reason. I don't know. Oh, this one's got paint all in the background. I probably have a higher resolution of this one. I do. You see the paint. Paint under the log there and there. This one's got that gray paint all throughout. I probably have higher resolution of this one in the background there. I do. They do this accent gray here to bring out the image, to make it look better for when they reprint it. It makes no sense this way, but when you see it, you know, in the magazine, it will look right. They've painted the side of the background here. They've painted his helmet. They might even have painted his face. I'm not sure about that, but they've definitely painted the background. Here's a higher resolution. You can see that paint better. Looks like they've painted his fingers. They've painted on the shirt there. Looks like they did something there, painted it. You can see where they painted his fingers. They did paint his face. I mean, that's an interesting point right there, is that, you know, this guy didn't have face paint, you know, war paint on his, you know, in the image, and then they added it, you know. They were very, very, very good at what they did. This is some sort of Navy explosion, and you've got accents of paint in the explosion. Here you can see the up close. Let's see the accents. Okay, what have we done here? They've manipulated the back here with paint. Let's see if we got higher res. Yes, we do. Okay, what have we done? Almost looks like they painted that smoke or something. Definitely painted right here. They painted a line here. They painted his eyebrows. I think they've painted his eyes. And he looks high as hell. That's a cool picture. Add accents there and paint back here. I'll probably have higher res. Yes. You can see the paint back there. Paint on the wing. Paint up here. Hey. Okie dokie. And we got young lady's got some paint back here and back on her back. And we can get high res. Oh, they've done her, painted her hair. You can see the paint strokes might have painted her eyebrows. You can see the paint on her right side. They've painted her, looks like her shirt here, the side here. There's some paint there. There's a lot of paint there. It's hard to tell. Got some paint there, some paint on her side. Okie dokie. I forget what was in this image. I think I got higher res. Let's see. Looks like they vanilla skied it. Seemed like it was more. More to it. There's something about this image. Okay, they've painted that right there. Should be right here. Oh, okay. That we're getting higher resolution now. They've got his eyebrows, his eyes, his lips right there. Got her eyebrows, her eyes, her lips, her collar going down his collar, her belt right there. See, this they've painted some of the back right here. Some of this is something's going on there. It's hard to tell. They've painted this lady's arms right here. They've done something in this area. Very strange, hard to tell. They've painted these plants right here. There's paint right there. They've painted these plants here. They painted these plants. They painted some plants up here. Some wild stuff in that photo right there. There's a lot of paint right there. I don't even know what they're doing here. They've got the windows painted. I remember there was something weird about this image, I see it now. There's a lot of shit this image just manipulated. That's crazy. They've added accents over the arches there in the windows. I mean, there's just too much to even look at. Look, oh gosh, look at that. Oh gosh, how did I even not see any of that? Look at that. You see what happens when you get to the higher resolution? It just changes everything. They've painted out these boards here across the top, the arches across the top of the roof, chimney there. They painted just all over the place. It's just everywhere. Like everywhere you look, there's something. Painted the arches, the plants. the background behind the dog. Boy, they almost painted the dog, Beagle. You believe that? Why would you paint the dog? Okay, let's go back to the original and just look at that for a second. That's the original image. Okay, and this is low res. This is kind of what you would see in a magazine or a newspaper. Okay, to give you an idea. I'm sorry, but that fooled me. I knew, okay, if it's in this folder, okay, I know it's manipulated. That I'm sure, because I make sure that I only put manipulated pictures in this folder. Okay. I remember this picture. I remember it had a lot of weird stuff about it. But when I first looked at this picture, I really didn't see it. I bet you didn't see it either. All right. Looks like they've painted the bottom left and behind the children here, all the way their whole background. Pretty image. And you can see clearly in the high res that it's paint. They painted some of the girl's hair here and here, the background. They've painted some of his hair. Okay, looks like they've done a little manipulated on her the right side of the image, her left side. And we'll probably have some high res. Yes, there we go. They've done a lot of manipulation on her face. I don't know if y'all can see that, but there's a lot of paint on her face. Whole lot of paint. So basically, this is old world Botox. You see all the brush strokes on her face now. Look at all those brush strokes. But those eyes are done. The eyelashes definitely are done. Okay, you got Vanilla Sky on the bottom right corner. You got painting going on up top. Oh, and we got a donkey. Holy majoli. We found a donkey, y'all. Had everybody on donkey watch. Got high res and get in there and you can see the paint is going on. Let's see where it's cut out there. And they have Vanilla Sky the left part of the image for some reason. And you can just see this in like a magazine. High res. This one's got paint in the background. Higher res. See them brush strokes now. They've painted around his ear. They've painted his eyebrows. They've painted his up in between his teeth, his lips. They've painted his shirt collar. Alrighty. Got accent paint around the glasses and around the hat. I think we're going to have high res. Yes, we are. And there you can see the paint there and there. and around there, and looks like they've done some work on the eyes. To me, on the ears there, the caps for the ears. They've done some painting down here on the bottom here, around in there. They painted the background here. In higher res, you can see it now. They painted his eyes. This one they've painted they've taken a black and white image and painted certain things. To kind of colorize it. Kind of odd. Roosevelt. He's got connections to Oak Island. This one's got accents here and here, painting. They painted the heads there and there and there. Imagine there's more going on in that photo too. I can't tell. They've added paint to the shirts here. Right there, there's marks. They've added a lot of paint to this guy. Got his booty painted. Paint there. He's got his booty painted. Paint there and there. This young lady's getting into the jelly. You got paint in the background. And we will probably have higher res, yes we do. And they have done a lot of painting in her hair, the background. Looks like they manipulated her eyes. They've painted the spoon, her hair, her lips, I think. Her collar right there. Her hair. Brush strokes all over the place. I come across all kinds of crazy stuff in my research. I show you what is the show's about, the images that are good for the show, but I'll probably have higher resolutions of this. Yeah. But I've got a lot of images that aren't, seems like painting on the wing here and here. This one's kind of harder to tell, but it's there. They've definitely painted up into this parachute here. It's just hard to tell, but it's there. They've definitely painted that. They painted the edge of the wing. Okay, this guy's got something going on in the background that they've painted. Looks like two different colors. I need me one of those, whatever that is. And this is higher res. You can see the paint now. They painted on the gun barrel. Brinks. They've done his eyelashes for him. He looks like Clockwork Orange. They painted his lips, painted the stock of the barrel, more of the background. Oh, wait, did they get his? No, okay. They got his shirt and cuffs. Same thing here. Got paint there. They painted his watch. Down on his shirt, there's some on his shirt there, the background. Oh, they even painted in between his fingers right there. Just do the most random stuff. He's got different colored backgrounds. Got brush strokes in the background. They've painted out the background. They painted the background there. And there. They've painted his hat. We've got the floorboards here that have been painted. Looks like maybe flags right there. The side of the ship have been painted. Her hair has been painted. His hat has been painted. And then we get into higher resolution and you can see the paint. That her feather and her hat was painted. Some on her face, on her chin, on her coat. Again on the boat. Looks like flags they've painted, and this right here. And the floorboards, the deck boards have been painted. Some on her dress right there, in between them. They've painted his eyebrows and his nose and his mouth and his cheeks, maybe his eyes. They painted her lips, her nose, her eyes, her hair, side of the boat, feather. They painted the background here on the right-hand side. I think he's growing shrooms. I don't know what he's doing. And you see it's painted out there. Got paint there. You can better see the paint now in the high res. I don't know what he's trying to grow there. They've painted his hand. They've painted the wood here. They've painted, it looks like some of that right there. Painted on his jacket. They've painted his eyebrows, his eyelashes, his mouth. Looks like his hat. There's paint there. It's amazing how much more you can see when you get to high res. It's like it really, really hides it when it goes down low res. Looks like the whole background's been manipulated in paint. We'll probably have higher resolutions of this. Let's see the paint there. Possibly paint on the flag. He's got paint on his trumpet. May have painted his tie. Paint on the flag. Paint in the background there. Paint in the background, paint on the trumpet. Paint right there. Paint on they've painted the flag a lot. Painted his shirt, his tie. Background. Over to the right's painted. Her hair's painted. His hat, his jacket, the gentleman's jacket, the background, his pants, both of their pants. This one's been painted. The vanilla sky has been painted out. I think I remember this one being in a downtown area. This is in Market House, Louisville, Georgia. I believe this is in a downtown area, and they just painted the buildings out in the back. You can see the paint, and it's more high res. You can see the paint in the background. Paint up on the building. Paint in the background. Paint the trees. They painted this. The grayish is paint. Accented this. For whatever reason, I don't know. They had their reasons, I'm sure. Looks like they've, I want to say they've painted outlines. Yeah, they have outlines of the boys' hats and shirts and arms. Outline their pants. That's a pretty dress. You see the lines here around her is how they were going to mask the picture for however they were going to use it. And they've painted her hair, her flower. They've added paint to her face, her lips, her eyes, her nose, her chin. The dress has paint on it. Paint on the dress. Paint right here. Paint all over the dress. Painted right there. Painted the outline. A lot of paint on the dress. I guess I was trying to give you as close a shots as I could to see that manipulation. Let's see. Hard to tell. I see maybe back here, maybe they've painted the outline there and there. They painted something there. They painted the sidewalk line here. You can see it closer there. You can clearly see it's painted there. They've done some painting on his shirt and on his face, probably at high res. Yes. They've painted his hair. They've painted all over his face. His shirt, all over it. I don't know if they painted that tool or not. They painted over here on the left for sure, and some on the right. They've painted the handle of the tool, his arm and hand. They've painted on the tool, yes. His shirt. You see the brush strokes more clearly now. Higher res. They've painted the background. Let's go back and look at the original of that. You know, if you saw that in the magazine, okay, now that's a photograph now. I know that looks like almost looks like a drawing, but this is a photograph, okay? They took a photograph and something wasn't right, so they manipulated it and they turned it into, you know, something for the magazine. Got a lot of manipulation in the background, lines on the trains. Probably have higher res. Oh, maybe not. Okay. This is high as res as it goes there. These guys, this guy's got they want to show this guy, they've masked him out, so they're going to use him in a photograph. They've painted the background there. A little bit higher res there, you can see. We got Fred pulling some wood. They've painted Fred, painted the back of this tree back behind that guy. They've accented these guys. They accented the wood. There's an up close of Fred getting accented. You can see the masking lines. And that's just a photographer's way of saying, I want this portion of the picture. It's a quick way to make an editor's note. And you've got paint on the shirt there and on the pine cones. You can see closer up with the higher resolution, you can see the editing of the paint on the pine cones and on the hands. All right, what we got? They've got paint on the background of the kid. Back behind him. And the looks like they painted his suspenders. Maybe. Paint there, paint there. They've painted his feet, the ground. Painted his suspenders. I don't know. Painted his face. You can see the masking lines. Looks like some paint back behind her. We've painted the bottom right here. Painted back behind her here. They've painted here, 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 here. Got this old mule. Let's see if we got some higher res. We do. And he's painted the mule's back here and the edge, the outline of the mule there. Hard to tell, but they've painted the farm implement here in the top of the guy's hand. And they've painted there. There's the paint on the back of the mule. This painted mule booty. They've painted the mule's ears, top of his head. They've painted his eyes, his mane, his mouth, his nose. definitely painted the background. Let's see if we can get higher res. They've painted his eyebrows, maybe his eyes, his lips. His nose. Some in his hair. Okey-dokey. Let's see. We'll get to the higher res. They painted down at the bottom of the image. They painted the buttons. They painted the collar and tie. His chin. His eyelashes. His eyebrows. His nose. His mouth. His ears. His hat. Okay, now let's see. We're gonna take us a break. Beagle's ready for a patrol, so now will be a good time for y'all to go get you a potty break and a biscuit or two, and we will be back shortly. And I hope you guys are having a good time. I have no idea where we're at this point, but we're going to keep going until we're done. We're going to get it done tonight. We're going to have a good Thanksgiving. I hope you all are having a good time. We'll be back shortly. Okay, we are back. Hope everybody's watered and fed, and we're gonna get back into it right now and do our thing and keep going on, getting on. All right, the little fella's got his whole background painted out, and he's masked out around the back. Got his hat and his clothes done, but we'll get some high res. We did, and got his hat done. Got his clothes painted up. Looking spiffy, looking good there. All right, all right. Got that background painted. We know how to manipulate a photo. Yeah, I don't be showing you no junk photo manipulations here. I'll show you the real deal. Looks like his foot there is painted. And let's see, get higher res. I think we're going to get more higher res. Got paint on the stretcher here. Paint on the stretcher there and the patient. Looks like something going on up here maybe. Let's see. Got paint on his jacket, on his hat, on the bill of his hat, on his collar. Got paint on his hat, the top. Got his hair painted. The rim of his hat is painted. Paint on the gurney. Somebody's running around behind me like a mad dog. Got paint on his jacket there. Paint on the pants, paint on the gurney there. Yep, paint on the bottom of the shoe, top and bottom. Paint on the pants leg. Paint down here, paint there. Alrighty. It is getting cold out there, y'all. I tell you what. I had to put on a warmer shirt. I was starting to get a little cool in here. I keep a little, this time of year, I keep a little electric radiator heater on, and it keeps me warm because I don't need a lot of heat, and I can regulate it really well. And the background of this guy's been manipulated, and you can see they've masked him out for a photo, so they wanted the photo to be kind of that right there within those lines. And you can see the paint clear there, and they've painted all the way around him. They've painted his hat, his eyebrows, his eyes. They've painted the hats of the firemen here, and the jackets, and the net here. Anyways, I use this little, the little radiator heater this time of year. It keeps me perfectly fine. And then, when it gets cold, I pop on that wood stove. That helps me save on wood too. So I like the wood stove heat. It'll just on a cold night, it really gets it going. I just like how wood stove heats. So when it gets colder, I have to go to the wood stove to do that. And I got paint on his hands, on his hair, on his eyebrows, on his helmet. They painted his name, Frank, on there. They've painted evil eyes on this guy. Painted his ears, his eyes, top of his hat, the bill of his hat. Let's get higher res, see what we can find. Got paint on his helmet, on his jacket. He's got paint on his jacket. There's paint on his back. There's paint back here. His eyes. His boots. The floor. I think his pants are painted. The background's painted. I'm not sure if his pants are painted or not, but they're weird looking. But yeah, I got the I'm not sure if those pants are painted or not. They're really weird looking. The top of his shoes painted. Hard to tell. He's got his eyes painted, his helmet painted, his jacket. He's got his helmet painted. His eyes, his cheeks, his ears, his jacket. All right. This guy's got a lot of paint on him and around him. Let's get in a higher res. His eyes, eyebrows, his nose, his mouth, background, his ears, on his shirt V right there. You got paint there and all over. There's paint all over that picture. Amazing. Looks like some paint up top. Let's get higher res. Got paint on the top of the car. Paint on the patient's blanket. Paint on the child's face right here. There's the top of the car. They've painted the water here in the background. That right there. Maybe some over this way. Let's see if we get higher res. Let's see what we can find. Yeah. There's paint all up the wood here, the water, the wood in the water. There's the water. There's paint all over that thing. All over. All over the place. Paint on the barn here. Wow, that's the spitting image of that old house at the farm. That's weird. It's almost a carbon copy in a way. The planks are a different way, but like the structure, the way it's structured. Interesting. Paint in the windows. You can see the paint here, over here in the water, the background, paint on the wood, paint on the guy's sweater, on his hat, background, the water, paint on the boat, on the canoe, paint on her jacket, paint on the water. Alrighty. Okay, good high res. Hopefully we'll see it. They painted the number 1 there for some reason. I think they painted up under the sign, maybe. Yeah, painted up under the sign. I think they painted his hair, his eyebrows, maybe his eyes, his cheeks, his lips, his shirt, his collar. They've painted the edges on the jackets and the boots and the hats of these guys. Get higher res. Get in there and see it. Hope you all are having a good Thanksgiving this year. Those of you that do I know a lot of you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, so that, you're like, what the hell's a Thanksgiving? It's basically one time a year that people get together and they stuff themselves beyond content in preparation for Christmas time when they do it all again. And then come January 1st, they promise that they're going to lose weight. And then they never do. And that's how we end up as fat America, pretty much. And they got paint all over their hats and their jackets. What you doing, houndy dog? Paint all their boots, their jackets, even on the hose. Oh, you want a biscuit? Let's see. Hold on. We got to have a biscuit break, y'all. Somebody wants a biscuit. You want two? Hippie says give you two. I think Hippie's an enabler. Aren't you, Hippie? Okay, we got all kinds of photo manipulation here. I know I got high res of this. Get in there and you can see the paint. I think I even got higher res than that. Let's get in there. Oh, maybe not. Okay, we'll go with this. There's paint in the background here. Paint up on the roof. There's some painting up in there. Oh, they've masked the picture. Painting on the top of the trolley car here. They've painted the horse, the donkeys or mules or whatever they are. All right. Okay, the high res. They've painted the feet, the bottom here. They painted the outfits here. They painted the nurse's dress. They painted the dresses here. They painted the kids' faces, the hands. They painted her eyes. They painted the background. They painted his face a lot. Painted his face a lot. Paint on there. Paint on that hand right there. Painted her lips, her nose, her eyes, her eyebrows, her hair, her outfit. They painted this guy's back here on his shirt. Painted her hands, her buttons. Alrighty. Okay. They've got some paint there and paint there. They've possibly done some paint on his shirt, on his collar. They've painted under his chin, his lips. I think they've done his whole face, maybe. His eyes, his glasses, his ears. That is a one where I was talking about somebody wanted a high resolution. They wanted a picture taken of them and they wanted it manipulated so they looked better. He probably paid top dollar to have this done. This was a personal photograph that was taken. And they could really manipulate it. There's probably a lot more manipulation there than I even can tell you. His hat's been painted. It's like her eyes were painted. Oh, her forehead was painted. His eyebrows look like they were painted. I painted the ground here. They've painted through the middle here to add tennis champ taught by robot. They got the background here is painted. That must be the robot. There could be more manipulation going on here. It's kind of hard to tell what they've done here. It's a lot going on. Maybe painted the side of that. I don't know. It's hard to tell. They did all kinds of stuff here. Looks like they did some manipulation on her face. Painted the top of the balls. There's some paint there. I would imagine there's more paint here than I can see. Painted her shoe. All right, you got paint here and over on this area on this wall. I think this is after a tornado. They painted that. Where are you going, Beagle? You're supposed to keep my lap warm. You know you're a lap dog. Ain't a lap dog. Painted that. Not sure why they did that. I mean, it's very, very odd. Painted this area here. And over here, saying it's tornado damage, I believe. They painted that right there. Painted that. Looks like they wrote the name of the street there, and they painted it out. Painted that right there. Ooh, an old train. I don't know if Frankie's still here. Or Frankie, I don't know if Frankie was here. Let's see. And we got paint on the engine, all over the engine. Get a little closer for you. What's up, GT 1982 Mustang? What's going on? Is that Denise the Menace? Did you change your name, or am I seeing shit today? Just trying to get tricky on me. I see through it. Paint, 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 more paint. Paint, paint, more paint, y'all. Paint. Ooh, we got some paint here. My goodness. They painted all over the background of this thing. Caterpillar. Sure wish I could get these just printed, downloaded in. I tell you what, the people that make these digital archives, every single digital archive is different. So every time I find a new digital archive, I've got to learn how to use it. And I got to figure it out. Sometimes they're very easy to use, very well done. Sometimes they suck holy asshole, and they are so hard to use. Sometimes it is like it's purposeful that they don't want you to get the photos, so I have to bend over backwards to get what I want. I have to pull out every trick and resource in the book to get the photos, and I'll do anything I can to get them. If it's good enough photo, I'll go above and beyond. I've got some pretty good screen snipping tools. That I can break out if I need to. Her background here is done. You can see the paint better in the high resolution. They've done a lot of outline on this car, on the tires. probably have some high res. Yep, here we go. You see all that paint. Y'all are starting to see it now. I don't have to point out near as much now because I'm sure y'all about tired of hearing me say it. But I'm gonna make sure you guys can see it real good. See how they've made break lines in the glass? That's kind of cool. Where are you going, Beagle Hound? They've painted this photo to give it a little bit of color. So it's a black and white photo, and then they, colorized it basically for some reason. They've got paint here and paint here. Paint here. Let's see if we can get some. Not sure what was in that one. Definitely paint there. You see the paint. It's kind of wild looking in it. Just overall in its appearance. All the crazy lines and stuff. I mean, what they used out of this photo is this oval shaped part here. That was the focus. They added paint here. They added a lot of paint to it. And then it's like they decided just to use that one portion. They painted the base here. They painted a lot on the Indian here. It's like they almost like they were going to do one thing with this image and then decided to do a different thing. A lot of paint there. They painted some on the sign here. They gave him a little bit more hair. There's Tom Hanks. Magic Kill, huh? Ooh, a puppy. Yeah, little fella. She's got paint here. There's some paint up here. Let's see what else we got. She's got paint on her legs, her shoes, her dress. The dog has paint on him. They painted the dog? My goodness. Whoever heard such a thing painting a dog. Bud, what do you think about that? We got paint on the side here. Painted her hair, painted her arm and her shirt. Painted the sign. Painted his shirt and tie and hat. Eyebrows, eyes. The background there is painted. More paint. Paint, paint, and more paint. Magic Kill. Got paint on his shirt here, his tie, and the back behind him. Oh, wait. Butts aren't toys. Okay, got eyes, eyebrows, his hat. And it looks like they're masking it out for the center of the image there. We'll have higher res of this for sure. Yep. Oh, it's an old fire station. It's them in training for doing the ladders. If you ever wonder why they call it hook and ladder, these ladders back then had a hook on the end of them, two hooks actually. And what they would do is they would put the ladder up, hook it on the window ledge, climb up the ladder, get in the window, and then put the ladder up to the next window, hook it on the window ledge, climb up the ladder, get in the window, and then keep on going up. They call it a hook and ladder. That's where that term comes from. They've painted the background of this one. Hard to tell, but it's there. They've painted the building here. You can see the lines on the top there. On the window, they painted this window and this window black. They've got paint all over there. They've painted that window black and that window black. All right. Got staging for the Oswald photo, I guess. Maybe they're doing Tyler Robinson this week. I don't know. And got paint there and paint there and more paint there. Let's see what we get. Paint on the stock there. On his pants leg. We got paint there. Paint on his hand. Painted his fingers there. Paint on the gun. Man, that dude looks evil. Jeez. Scary looking dude. Paint on over here on the stock of the gun there, on his shirt, on his hat, on the brick. Oh, hello, little monkey. And we got paint on the monkey all the way up. Paint background. Paint on his shirt. Paint the background. Paint on his face. And here, we'll switch him around. Give him a little bit higher resolution. And you can see the paint. Ah, what in the world? What did I do? Ah, buttons aren't toys. Okay. I don't know what I did there. Let's see. And what are we gonna do? What's your deal, dude? And he's got paint in the background, maybe some paint on his face. Let's see the high res. And yep, got his eyes and his eyebrows and his eyelashes, his lips, his nose, the background, some on his jacket. There in the background. Lines on his hair, paint in his hair. Looks really weird like this, don't it? But you got to understand, this didn't look weird when they printed it in a magazine. This is a little clip that the first HER photo, Gustave Le Gray, 2 negatives, and the problem of sea and sky. This is some stuff I found on this guy that did composites. Every one of his pictures were composite. That's a composite. I think I might have that picture. That's a composite. 2 different photos. The foreground and the background are different photographs. Same with this one. And you just wouldn't. Same with this one. Just foreground and back. I think I showed that one earlier. I forget. This is a composite picture. That's all I can tell you. I don't know what's what, but it's a okay. So that's that. And what do we got here? Pictorialism. And just some research there for this kind of stuff. There's that image we were looking at earlier. And just something you could look into on your own damn time when you ain't got nothing to do. These are all photo manipulated images here in some way, shape, or form. All different kinds. And It's all about the art of it. All right. I don't know what the hell else saw it. Who knows? And this is a composite image. Who knows how many images he took to get this? Something wild right there. It looks like a horse head, and I don't know what the hell that is. That's weird looking. But who knows how many images is that's a composite of? Got some painting on the side of the building here. Let it lock in. There we go. They painted the side of that building right there. Not sure why. So I'm just looking around, see if I can see anything else. This is a composite image. These are, kind of spirit photos. These were really popular back then, where they would take an image of your deceased relative and they'd superimpose it into a picture with you. It's just a way of remembering your loved ones. And you can see the little ghost image back there. It's just camera photography tricks. There's Vanilla Sky. Let's see, hold on. And you can see the edges. They etched this one. And you can see a lot of the gray background where they didn't get it real good out. They got that. They took a chunk out of that cross when they etched it. It's interesting. You would think they would be more careful, and maybe it's possible that it didn't just scrape what you hit. It might have like chipped off. I don't know. That's a good question because you would think they would be more careful. Like see right here, they looks like they chipped into the cross too. Maybe that's why they weren't super careful, is because they couldn't. It would chip off. I don't know. I'd have to have a glass plate negative and try to do it myself, but I've never. I don't have one, so you can see then they did a weird etching here, trying to get rid of the trying to come into the tree. This is artistic license. Each person would do it differently. They weren't all the same. Some people just kind of ran around it. Some people kind of jagged it. Obviously, this person spent a lot of time trying to make it, the trees blend into the background. I guess it depends on how much you're getting paid. But you can see the different backgrounds between this is the Vanilla Sky and this is the original background. Let it lock in. I remember this one. There's some paint there. They've painted there and around the circles there. You see the white paint there. Paint on the Statue of Liberty here, all going up, all the way up. Just paint on the lamp. Alrighty. This is a weird one. The way they did this, it's like a black. It's like a reverse. I don't know. It's very strange. I don't know how to exactly explain this one, but you can see it's been Vanilla Skyed in reverse somehow. I don't really. I can't explain how that's done. That's That one's above my pay grade. I just don't know. Let it lock in. Okay. They've manipulated out something right there. They painted it out, whatever it is. Probably a electrical line or something like that. Sometimes you can tell by where it goes to. I don't see it though. I don't know. Paint on the roof. Alrighty. Where are we going to be going? I don't know. What's the next photo? I don't know. I don't know shit. I'm just here doing this with paint on rooftop. Up on rooftop. Click, click, click. I think that basically there should be laws that state, look at that chimney. That chimney's cool. There should be laws that state if you put up your Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving, you should be arrested and flogged in public. I think that should be a thing. Just an opinion. Just an opinion here. This is a composite image. The foreground and the background are different images. Got your star fort. And you can see the break between the images right there. But is it go to here? Maybe. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell, but that's, two different images. Looks like he might have done some photo painting up here in the clouds. We got some paint over here on the left side. Let it lock in. Boom. Paint there and there and there on the side. Why they did that? Why would you do that? I don't know. Why? Let it lock in. Okay. Something going on right there. Let's see. I'm not sure what is going on here. Sometimes they can be very difficult to tell. Seems like I remember this one for some reason. Like it was something like a person or something. I don't know. They've done something to the background here. I can't quite figure out what they've done. It's something like they've painted the sky in some way. I'm not sure. All right, I'm gonna move on. I'm not. I see something, but it's not jumping out at me. What they've done? I could see something weird, but I can't really name it. This one's a little better. They've manipulated that background for sure. It looks like they vanilla skied it and then maybe added the, I don't know. Maybe they 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 add clouds or something to it. It's really quite odd. See the electrical lines disappear into the background. There's a line here that disappears. It's been manipulated somehow. It's that's a tricky one, but it's that whole bottom has been manipulated. It's almost like, let me back up. Okay. Boom, boom. It's almost the same image. It's got the same people in it. And oh wow, did you see that? Ah. Look at the tree in the right hand corner. Boom, 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 boom. They manipulated out the tree on the left side too. Taking out the whole tree trunk. That's wild. Okay. All right. It is what it is. This is a composite image. The foreground and the background are separate images. They're not very good resolution, but I just know they're historically. Same thing with this. Foreground and background are separate images. And if I didn't tell you that, you'd have never known that. That's how good they were. Same thing with this. This was a pretty famous image that was manipulated. It's called The Pond Moonlight, 1904. Here's the history on it. You can take a gander at that. Waldorf Astoria. And we've got people that have been erased right here. There's people here, but they don't look like they've been erased. They look like they're just moving too fast. And let me be clear. These people have been erased. That yes, they are moving too fast and they look like ghost people, but they've also manipulated them too. It's both. Look at that dude. Looks like he's turned two ways during the photograph. Yeah, this building was. I call this one I call it buildings that are this good wedding cakes. They're just so good, and I call them wedding cakes based off the Billy Myers UFO photos. That the same concept that they were like so over the top. That's where I came up with that term. I actually had Michael Horn contact me recently. If you guys are into UFO research, you probably, and Billy Myers especially, you might have heard of Michael Horn before. He contacted me recently and wanted an interview, and I turned him down, but I thought that was weird. We had a kind of a long, drawn out. He kind of came at me sideways. I think he thought he knew more. I think he thought he knew more than he does. And I kind of at the end of it, I kind of had to hand him his ass because he's a very egotistical person from what I've learned. Anyways, they've painted out that right there, but it was just really weird. Out of the blue, he contacted me. No idea why, just out of the blue. And I don't think he wanted to interview with me like for me. I think he wanted a platform to talk his research. So it was like, okay, well, I don't care, but I'm not doing that. So, but anyways, he was a piece of work. I have to say. Um, this one's been etched out, vanilla skied. Interesting symbology. Got etching on the. See right there, they cut into it. A Knights Templar cross looks like. They've cut off that little nub right there on the end of that finial. But anyways, look at all that. Wow, that's pretty. So that is, I think, got something. They've done something there. Don't know why. It's weird looking, but they did manipulate something there. Might have done something right there too. Not sure. Not sure if that's just a person that's moving fast or they manipulated that. Okay, we got let it lock in. Boom, we got paint right here. About time Haha showed up, or about time I looked down and see if Haha showed up. Welcome, Dragon Sage. And I don't know if I said hello 6R earlier. Hello 6R. This is a one of those spirit photos. It's a composite photo, 2 photos composited into one. It's just old photography tricks. I could I've taken a photography class and I could make, a lot of these photos. Same with this, a composite photo. 2 photos composited into one negative. Same thing with this. The lady in the background is composited into an image with the 2 men. It's a spirit photo. Same here, spirit photo. 2 different images. They've even painted the left side of this image. Spirit photo. And if you've ever worked in a dark room, you know how they do these things. It's not as hard as you think. It's work, but they've done some weird painting things in the sky there. I don't know what the hell they've done there. Some of this stuff's like, what? Okay. Got vanilla sky. You can see, I don't know if you can see actually. You can see the mask or where it was overlaid right here. There's a line. And that's from one image being laid on top of another. There's paint there. You see the different background in the tree here. Buds aren't toys. I don't know how I do that. You got paint down through here. It's been vanilla Scott all around the horse statue. All right. Let it lock in and boom. And this one has been painted to vanilla sky it. And they cut into the building right there. Looks like they cut off the fleur de lis but they didn't cut the guy off the building. It's just really weird. And it's just painted all through here, up here. They cut off the spire here, cut off the finial. See, that's what the finial would look like. They just butchered this thing. Absolutely butchered it. Just they really did a butcher job. They cut all into the building. Good grief! I mean, whoever did this was not what they call a professional, or they're really lazy. I don't know. Like, what in the world? Like, why? I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, what's the thinking behind doing a crappy job like this? And another thing, it is, and this this is I don't know why I have not really thought of this before, but let me explain something to y'all. This is a glass plate negative, okay? That means that this is the only copy, the only original copy. Now you could make a copy, a negative copy. You could take a photograph of the glass plate negative in the darkroom and make another photograph, but it would never be a glass plate negative. You could take a photograph of the glass plate negative, but it would never be a glass plate negative. This glass plate negative is, well, you could take a glass plate negative photograph, but the point is, this is the original. Okay, the quality would never be. You always lose resolution. Okay, but if you take this glass plate negative, right? Let's say you didn't make a negative. Okay, and this is the only glass plate negative of this picture, and then you go butchering this picture. That means that this image that you've captured for historical purposes will never come back. You will never see it again. So when they chop off this ether cresting here, you'll never see it again, because it's it's gone. It's you can't. It's not like today's photography where you, or not even today's photography, or photography where you have like film photography where you have a film negative where you just go make another picture off the negative, right? It's not like that. It's one, you have one glass plate negative. So once you butcher the shit out of it, that's it. So whatever was in the background here, you will never know what was here, because it's gone forever. Like there is no, it's not like there's a copy of this somewhere with the background. There isn't. There might be he might have taken another picture at the same time that he took this in the same spot, but it won't be the same picture. Like this trolley will never be in that same spot. This gentleman will never be in the same spot. This gentleman will never be in the same spot. Okay. So when you go manipulating the photograph, you've destroyed historical evidence. Interesting. And this one, they've done all kinds of manipulation to it, to make it look old, I think, is the best I can say, because otherwise it just doesn't make any sense. All kinds of weird paint and brush strokes everywhere, but none of them really make sense. I don't know. I think it's to make the picture look older, but I don't know. Let lock in and boom. And this has been Vanilla Skied. You can see they cut off the Stoneball finial there and there. You see how they butchered it. And they've like cut off like part of the brick wall here. Like they just absolutely butchered it. And you see going up, and they butchered the flag here and the mercury ball. I mean, some of these things are just really poorly done. You can see the contrast between the vanilla sky portion and behind the balustrades. But look what they did to these stone balls. I mean, they just absolutely butchered those stone balls. Why would you do that? I don't know if it's poor workmanship or if it's that they look at how they went into the I'm wondering if when they were etching it off, if it chipped, and if they weren't careful, it chipped it a lot worse than it should have been. I don't know. Lock in, boom, you got paint right there. They've painted out this line right here. A little mud flood for you. Y'all like Mudflood, do you? Nah, y'all like Mudflood. No Mudflood for you. There's Fred. In case y'all are unaware and uninformed, Fred is the horse to build America. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. Let's see. Okay, we got. Oh, this was weird. I just what I saw in this photo is you got this whatever right here that they manipulated out for whatever reason. And it seems like they didn't manipulate it out right there. But I don't know what that is. So it looks like it might go here. Down here. I mean, maybe it's a cable. I don't know. It's just weird because it's so thick. But it's like it's not on the bridge. I don't know. That one just. This is a famous one. I've showed this one many times on here. But who doesn't like looking at it? I don't. I like looking at it. They just absolutely butchered this thing. Vanilla skied. He chopped up the little obelisk there and chopped up the architectural urns. Just chewed into them. They've manipulated out a electrical line there. Another one there. And they just chewed up the building here. Just ate it. Just absolutely chewed it up. But this photo is one of the best examples of photo manipulation that we have. You can see the background has been just chewed up all the way across the top, and you can see a light pole, and there's buildings that are missing. But the famous thing here, you can see it in the reflection there, is a moon tower, and this is in Detroit, and they have etched out a moon tower to erase it out of the picture. And a moon tower was an old arc light system that went way up in the air. You can see lines going down there. They manipulated, but there's just a lot of line there going out. A lot of photo manipulation in this one image. This is a great one to show your friends and family who have their head up their ass. And oh my Lord, I think I rattled somebody's chain yesterday about dinosaurs. They were going on about dinosaurs. I'm like, they're dragons, right? And I just kind of popped on him, and this guy was like, he definitely, drank the Dino juice, and he was not having it. Oh man, he just, he was flipping his gourd. This is a composite image. So there's many, different images. This is six. It says, this is 6 different negatives that have been combined into one to make one photograph. You would have never known that if I hadn't told you. I mean, that's pretty cool. I got to say, let me, oh, and that is the end of the pictures. So we got through it, y'all. We got through it. I hope y'all had a good time and enjoyed that. And I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I sure appreciate you all hanging out tonight. I hope that this has become a tradition. I hope to keep it alive and give you guys somewhere to be and something to do on this holiday. Because I know that can be very aggravating to be around your friends and family that are not awake yet. It gets very annoying talking to the people that are asleep. It's very difficult, and I feel you. So we'll be back Sunday, and we will do the normal show, and that will be a lot of fun. And I'll go ahead and invite you there this Sunday, between 9 and 9:30, based on my weekend. But I will be posting that up probably Saturday, and I sure appreciate all of you. And to go out tonight, I thought we would do a little year in review. So I want you to go ahead and crank up your stereo and kick back for a few minutes. And we're going to just kind of have a little year in review. And I will see you all soon. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And we will see you very shortly.
Once again, will the renegade master D4 damager, power to the people. Once again, will the renegade master D4 damager, the ill behavior. Once again, will the renegade master D4 damager, power to the people. Once again, will the renegade master D4 damager, the ill behavior. Renegade master. Renegade master. D4 damager, the ill behavior. Renegade master. Like a beatbox, like a beatbox, like a beatbox, like a beatbox, like a beatbox. That was send a man, send a man, give it a mic, you know, in a man, send a man, give it a mic, you know, in a man, go tell a man, come and get me, your phone, come and tell a man, send a man, with the butt, go get a man, anytime you're ready, I'm there, I'm better than these, man, fair and square, we can link in the end, we can link, make fair. When I'm here, when I'm here, Christian G, when I'm here, when I'm here, it's all right, when I'm here, when I'm here, it's on top, when I'm here, the big kitty make man disappear. The history like between me and you, blood is the history gap. How did mine gonna come with chat? Come against me, I'm there and that. R.I.P. on the t-shirt, all the man never wearing that. Took man to bed to the man, for now to the man, to the man, to the man, get back. I need that.
Motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
No.
It's a mystery! It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma! Don't you get it?
Say woof again! Say woof again!
I've got one that can see.
Welcome to the underground.
This is my kung fu, and it is strong.
See you later.